or they're not Orthodox. They're what is it? It's a different kind of Christian though, isn't it? Or it's not Orthodox.
2 months in a row of straight W's.
I care about Armenians. I also care about Turkish meatballs, so I forgive Ottomans now. Shut the fuck up, dude. You don't give a shit. Unless you're our Armenian, in which case then I'm sorry. But then you wouldn't have said centuries of torture the Ottomans inflicted before World War I. Coptic. Eastern Orthodox. The church. The Armenian, like, Christianity is... I thought it was Orthodox. Am I wrong? It's not Coptic. It's the Armenian Apostolic Church. Okay, I don't mean to be insulting or ignorant. I'm curious what your reaction. What do you say if I say Turkish cuisine and Greek cuisine have the mostly identical recipes? Turk better, bro. So I am right.
Yo.
Why the fuck? There are more Armenians in Glendale than Armenia? Yeah. Wait, is that true? It is a massive diaspora of Armenians, but Armenians trigger Turks so much? No. Oh, as far as the question about like, would I be mad? No, like Armenians, Turkish people, Greek people, literally the same. Kurds too. I don't give a fuck if everybody mauls. Like, we are literally the same. All of us. In nearly every single capacity. Similar food, similar fucking attitude, similar culture. The only difference is religion, and that's pretty much it. It's like...
was to rule over the island.
Not to be a shit up, but what about the Kurdish? I said it. I said the Kurds as well.
And even got to keep the title Emperor of Elba. The Allies must have been in stitches when they came up with that. When he learned what his fate was to be, he drank the poison he had been keeping around his neck. But it had gone out of date, so instead of a quick and painless death, he got a painful stummy-wummy instead. Before he left France, he addressed his oldest and closest guard one last time, making an emotional speech that ended with him kissing their flag. And off he went to exile. The deal that was given to him was actually quite generous. His family were given titles, he was to receive a state pension from France, and he was able to receive many distinguished visitors, all eager to come and meet the famed emperor. And he ruled over Elba well, improving infrastructure and introducing many legal and social reforms aimed at improving life on the island. Hey Napoleon, just coming in to check on how it's all going. Holy smokes! But it wasn't all good. For one thing, he learned of the death of his first wife Josephine and was deeply saddened. He was forbidden from seeing his son and current wife, and in Austria, Emperor Francis had ordered a local count to seduce her, so she would forget about Napoleon. Then, the new King Louis XVIII refused to give Napoleon his agreed pension. He was under constant threat of assassination, and there were even rumors that the Allies were thinking of relocating him somewhere even more remote. But the biggest problem was that Napoleon was once the master of Europe. He had lived a thrilling life of adventure, fame, and glory. Now, he found himself on a tiny island in the Mediterranean, and he was bored. Wouldn't it be nice if he could somehow return
Kurdish,
to...
not Turkish, LMAO, as if I associate with a nation that's literally attempting to commit Kurdish genocide? I agree with what you're saying. You're missing the point that I'm making, which is that literally everyone in that region has the same food, same attitudes, same culture, look the same, hard to fucking distinguish from one another, have similar fucking architecture, and we still kill each other, but the reality is it's the same. It's okay, you're just justifying genocide? What? You're saying I'm justifying genocide by admitting it? Like, what the fuck does that mean? You added that part there, I think. What?
To France and reclaim his throne. Hey Napoleon, want to go back to France and reclaim your throne? I would, Pierre. But how? Well, I was thinking we could just take this boat. Will that work? Surprisingly, yes. Pierre, remember when I told you no one would ever kiss you? Yes, sire. Well, pucker up, boyo. Yay. When Napoleon left Elba, it wasn't really the daring escape you might think. He basically had kind of a leaving ceremony, hopped on a ship, and sailed back to France. He brought with him an army of about 1,000 men, and he began his journey to Paris. However, in Paris, there was now a new king, and at first, the people largely accepted him because the last few years of war under Napoleon had brought immense death and economic suffering. That's right, the king is back, baby. Divine right to rule. Don't worry, everyone. I know the economy is kaput, but I and my courtiers will withdraw into this palace, and we will definitely work as hard as we can to fix everything.
That's real and true. Porsche 911s was real.
Oh, yeah. That's why we got rid of the king. As the Bourbon monarchy began to look more and more like a return to the past, and the returning nobility seemed hellbent on regaining their lost privileges, the people weren't too happy. And so, Napoleon hoped that his glorious return would be met with jubilation. In the end, the reaction was a little mixed, but many were happy to see their old emperor. Your Majesty, it seems that Napoleon...
Okay, I do have to hit a fucking 1 minute ad break here, boys. We're 7 minutes late. But it's top of the hour. Every hour it's time for a 6-second ad break. If you'd like to no longer see the ads, if you want to ad-free broadcasting experience, all you need to do is subscribe. You can do it for $5 or for free with the Twitch Prime. Here it is. I gotta pee as well.
Back and marching this way with 1,000 men. That guy? No problem. I have hundreds of thousands of men. Send them to arrest him. Your Majesty, it seems the thousands of men we sent to arrest Napoleon have all joined his side. Well, I'm off to Belgium. If you ever need a king again, be sure to let me know. As Napoleon continued his journey, the king had sent battalions of men to stop him, but they largely comprised of Napoleon's old soldiers, many unhappy with King Louis's military reforms. And so, when ordered to arrest him, they simply couldn't do it. In one famous incident, the troops began to cry out, "Long live the Emperor." When Napoleon reached Paris, with King Louis having fled, he entered unopposed to reclaim his throne. Napoleon was back from the dead. Okay, everyone, now that we've finally gotten rid of that guy, let's try to make sure something like this can never happen again. What's that doing there? Hey, fellow monarchs. This time, Napoleon promised he would be a mucho good boy and not start any wars. But the Allied leaders were having none of it. They declared Napoleon an outlaw and the illegitimate ruler of France. Then, they declared war, not on France, but on Napoleon himself. And when you have multiple empires declaring war on you as an individual, that's how you know you're a very naughty boy. The Allied powers began making plans to combine their forces and once again invade France. The most immediate threat to Napoleon were the British and Prussians hanging out in nearby Belgium. If Napoleon could knock them out quickly, maybe he could force the Allies to negotiate, and maybe he could hold on to his power. Together, the two armies to the north outnumbered him, so he made a plan to divide them and take them on separately. Historians debate how much of a chance Napoleon had here, but this same strategy of dividing and conquering had worked for him multiple times. He marched north with 125,000 men and took on the Allies in a number of initial engagements, defeating the Prussians before turning to take on the British. But to Napoleon's dismay, miscommunication and hesitation among his marshals allowed both enemy armies to retreat, and crucially, rather than fleeing east, the Prussians moved north, where they could remain in contact with the British. Napoleon sent a force to hold off the Prussians as he moved in on the British, now holding a defensive position at Waterloo. Prussian General Blücher sent word that he would come to Wellington's aid if he could just hold off the French for long enough. Napoleon had to defeat Wellington before the Prussian army could arrive in force, and it was close. The British held the high ground and a number of key defensive buildings across the battlefield. After waiting some hours he didn't have for the ground to dry, Napoleon sent men to assault the Hougoumont farm, but the British-German garrison there held out. French Marshal Ney launched a number of miscalculated cavalry charges at the British lines. The British formed defensive square formations, and they tore the French cavalry to shreds, while one guy chose the absolute worst time to go on a bender. The French did manage to capture a farmhouse directly in front of the British line, and from there, they unleashed
So when it's just at one dub and the British don't shut the fuck up about it forever.
artillery hellfire on the British square formations. And as Napoleon sent his Imperial Guard in to finish the British off, a nervous Wellington knew his lines were at breaking point. But the Prussians had earlier begun to arrive, and now they were arriving in large numbers. And after the British held out and sent the French Imperial Guard running, the French lines panicked, fearing they had been encircled, and they began to flee. The Battle of Waterloo was an Allied victory. And with that, Napoleon's hopes of returning to glory were vanquished. He
Hey, bruv, remember Waterloo, bruv? I'll fucking shank ya.
knew he was defeated. He went to the British and said, "Can I please have a house near London?" And the British replied, "No." Instead, to make sure Napoleon
Never forget, bruv, we fucking shank you, Franks.
was put away once and for all, they sent him to one of the most isolated and remote places they could think of. A tiny island in the Atlantic Ocean, St. Helena. Here, a deeply isolated and depressed Emperor Napoleon would live the remaining years of his life. His house was a wooden
Why
bungalow.
didn't they just fucking murder him?
3,
Like last time.
Not exactly on par with the Tuileries Palace. Much to his frustration, his captors referred to him as General, rather than calling him Emperor. His mail was censored, his visitors were vetted. There was almost no way he could escape such an isolated island, but just to be sure,
Actually, that makes sense. They didn't kill him out of class solidarity. That does make sense. Because he had drip. Yeah, that's true. You don't want to kill fucking monarchs, then you'll get clapped next time.
he was guarded by 2,000 British soldiers and 2 ships that circled the island 24 hours a day. He had once been the most powerful man alive, and images of the victorious Napoleon depict a strong leader, hand firmly in jacket. Depictions of Napoleon on St. Helena show a disheveled old man, hand firmly in pants. He had lost everything. And by the way, he was only 46, so maybe it's about time you know what? You're doing all right, kid. Napoleon fought one last battle while on the island.
Much love.
The battle for his reputation. He spent hours writing his memoirs, espousing his achievements, recording his greatness, and turning himself and his story into a phenomenal legend. And in this battle, he certainly succeeded. His mark on history cannot be denied. After his defeat, the European monarchs had got to work restoring Europe to its traditional balance and reasserting their dominance. But after Napoleon had spread the influence of the French Revolution, these returning monarchs would have a difficult time regaining their absolute control. France returned to the rule of the Bourbons, but it would go on to stage another revolution, and then another one. Reaction to Napoleon's rule in places like Germany and Italy propelled forward the ideas and feelings of modern unity and nationalism, and his Napoleonic Code still remains the basis of law in various modern countries. The modern world owes a lot to Napoleon's legacy. He remains statistically possibly the greatest military general in history, and his revolutionary military tactics changed the face of warfare. He was the last.
It's so funny because it's hindsight, but it's like you look through the history of like these revolutionary generals, and you're like, damn, they literally just came up with like riding horses fast. And everyone was like, oh, fuck, we have no answer for this for like 100 years. You know what I mean? Oh, shit, dude. Fuck. Bro, there's like riding horses directly at the enemy, and then there's riding horses behind the enemy. Turks literally ran with the Hilal, the crescent tactic for fucking however many years. I don't even know. Just they would just do the meta over and over again.
Truly great leader to both lead his armies in battle while retaining total political control over a vast empire. There's still hope for Joe Biden, but the man remains somewhat of an enigma, and we still aren't sure exactly what to make of him in some regards. Was he the champion of the French Revolution, spreading equality wherever he went? Or did he betray
Genghis
it?
Khan was the first thing about using a bow and arrow on a horseback, and that was pinnacle weapons tech for hella years. Dude, they fucking owned. Well, Genghis Khan did a lot of cool shit. Okay, please don't cancel me and say that, like, I'm fucking talking about, like, a rapist pillager, okay? As though you were there. Jesus Christ, okay? Didn't they also used to... He loved Genghis Khan in his works, chat? Yeah, fucking cancel Genghis Khan, okay? Cool shit like genocide. Dude, he literally redirected a fucking dam over an entire city. Like, he broke a dam and redirected a river over an entire city because they wouldn't give up. That's crazy, dude. He said, I'm going to wipe you out off this map. And then he did that. Here's why Genghis Khan is problematic. Bro, stop killing Kurds, bro. On God. Okay, dude, I'll stop. Literally launched decaying bubonic plague bodies in the cities. He gave most of us generational trauma. What? Okay.
It by making himself an absolute monarch and restricting certain liberties. Was he an ambitious and aggressive conqueror, hellbent on bringing Europe to its knees? Or was he simply defending himself against an aggressive Europe, hellbent on reducing his power? Some things will continue to be debated. Napoleon died at the age of 51, officially of stomach cancer, but some believe he may have been poisoned. The British buried him in a tin coffin, inside a mahogany coffin, inside a lead coffin, inside another mahogany coffin. I guess this time, they wanted to make sure he stayed where they put him. In 1840, his remains were moved to Paris, where they now rest under the dome of Les Invalides. The man from humble origins, with huge ambition, ruthless determination, immaculate skill on the battlefield, and a hefty dose of luck, who was determined to make his mark on history, did just that. There is no immortality, he said, but the memory that is left in the minds of men. And in that sense, Napoleon knew he would live on forever. Oh, and to reiterate, he was definitely average height for the time.
That's kind of whack that they just fucking depict him as short. Or like everybody always knows him as short, so much so that Napoleon complex is like literally attributed to his, like, god damn, dude. Yo, short people really can't catch a break. Imagine having like back to back some of the most dubs out of like any European general, and then they turn around, they go, oh, you did all that because you're a fucking manlet, dude. Like, literally, imagine being average height as a guy, and you literally fucking conquer Europe over and over again, and then motherfuckers are just like, oh yeah, that's you overcompensating for your average height, dude. Literally took over half of Europe, still gets made fun of for height. You would have been on the front line making fun of him. I would have gotten owned. We don't want your sympathy, tall man. Men will literally conquer Europe instead of going to therapy. Abdul Hezbollah presser 15-second version. Oh yeah.
Vamos lá. Seu. Vamos lá.
Dude, look at that form, dude. Hasbullah's gonna fucking rip him, dude. Look at that. Look at that form. Look at that form. It's so perfect. Why do you watch it? This is so sad. Why is this sad? Fucking dope. They're not kids. No, they're not kids. It's mini Khabib, dude.
As what?
I mean, they are kind of. They're like 18. So they are kind of kids. But they're not like little babies, you know? I thought you were watching another Napoleon video. Nah, dude. Nah, Napoleonic drip is insane. Dude, how the fuck do you fight in this, dude? So dumb. It's just like hold on, dude. Let's look fucking really good as we get ripped. Exposed. What? Okay, stop. This documentary is opting a lot of crucial information, such as how the Haitian... Dude, it's not a documentary, dude. Such as the Haitian Revolution is the killing blow to his governance. He opted to enslave the freed Haitians who wrote a letter to Napoleon. That all they wanted was to be free, and they will ally with France. His entire army got crushed by the Haitians, all because Napoleon wanted to enslave them for his wife and the other slave owners so bad. Also because Arthur Morgan was there. Yeah, fun fact. A little bit of a Red Dead Redemption 2 memes for you. Crazy. He was literally there, dude. That's Tahiti, bro. Wasn't it in Haiti? Didn't he go to Haiti?
13 months.
Did I just make that up? You're trending on Twitter. It was Guarma, which is fictional. Dude, I'm so tired. I had a great stream today, boys, but I think this is it for me for the time being, okay? Fucking 10 hours and 25 minutes. I'm gonna hit that 3-minute ad break here. Okay, anyways. Thank you, Kappa 8675309. Thank you, Kappa 8675309 for the 55,000 gift subs. 50 big ones, dude. Fuck, I'm tired. Dude, I am... Wow, I'm tired, dude. What the frick? What a crazy, crazy day this was. Okay, I gotta go figure out... what I need to do about potentially going to Miami. You know what I'm saying? What's this guy doing? Oh. Okay, well, Will Neff is doing a watch party. I'm gonna fucking raid him right now. So if you guys don't have fucking primes or whatever, you're screwed. Did I not send you guys to the watch party? He's doing a watch party for film school, I think. What are you gonna do in Miami? Fuck your mom, obviously. Duh. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm sorry I said that. Don't worry about what I'm gonna do in Miami. It's a surprise. Watched this for 10 hours and didn't even talk about Bo Burnham. I cry. Raid Clint Stevens? He's not even live. What the fuck? Is he?
I'm gonna wait.
What? No, I'm not raiding Clint Stevens, dude. I'm raiding Will. Anyway, all right, boys. It didn't work yesterday when I tried to raid him. I don't know if it's going to happen again, but... Yo, what the fuck, dude? Twitch does not want me raiding our boy, okay? He keeps saying... it keeps saying, can't raid, can't raid, can't raid. I'm just going to host him again. He's doing a Prime Watch Party? Is that why? Okay, I won't raid him then. No, I'm still going to raid him. I'm going to host him, rather. All right, anyway, I love you guys, okay? Okay, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye.